Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Otto. I work in the partnership team here at Odoo. Today I'm going to be talking about in-app purchases and how you can expand your business with the in-app purchases in Odoo. So, first of all, I'm going to explain what in-app purchases are, and I'm going to show you how the workflow is in Odoo, and I'm going to give you some examples as well. Thirdly, I will of course explain how you can make your own in-app purchases today. So that's really the point of my talk. I want to inspire you to start making your own in-app purchases in Odoo. Okay, so first of all, what is an in-app purchase? An in-app purchase simply is a service being provided through the interface of Odoo. So the idea behind it is that Odoo becomes a platform for services. So we can take this example here, which Fabian presented at the keynote. So imagine you have your account receivable, you send your invoices to your customers, but you have some cash flow problems. So we have a service of factoring in finance, which is getting paid for your account receivable straight away. So you push this button, get paid now. The bank already has your accounting information in Odoo, so you connect it to the API. Within 24 hours, you have your money in your bank account, and you don't have to wait for the payment terms of the invoice from your customer. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. Of course, there's any number of services that you can integrate with Odoo. Take, for example, credit collection. You have a lot of age receivables that you want to get paid now. So you click on a similar kind of button. You get all this in your bank account, and an external service take care of getting the money back from the customers. So you can do this with different things. For example, if you have recruitment, you want to publish your job announcements on different websites. You click, and it goes to LinkedIn, it goes to Monster, all automatically provided by external service. So let's take a quick example. Sending an invoice by Snema. So I'm going to go here in my accounting. We have our customer invoices right here. So we have this invoice here that we want to send to the customer. So of course we still have the same options, for example, to print it as a PDF. We can send it by email as you've been doing for years now, or we have this new option here, which is send by post. And if we click here, what's going to happen is it's going to be printed out as a PDF, and it's also going to be sent out to the customer by mail. So the customer, what he will receive is one of these envelopes. It's done directly. You don't have to worry about it. Another service is taking care of this printing. So it's really good for the user. It allows them to automate this boring work of printing the invoice, putting it in an envelope, going to the post, sending it out. And if you have thousands of invoices every day, of course, it saves a lot of time. So, and as well, as you have seen, it's super easy to use. You just need to click one box, and it goes out directly. You don't have to worry about signing up for a service or who's doing it. You only see the price, and it's automatic. So, how is this possible? Well, today I think we have all the ingredients we need for in-app purchase success. So we have a huge reach of customers, 4 million users worldwide, which you can tap into with in-app purchases. We have a huge community of developers, which can develop the interface with the Odoo and the app, the service itself. And of course, we have the service, the API that was launched last year to allow you to connect to Odoo with your services. So there's a lot of potential for the customer, but as well for the service provider. You can reach millions of customers easily. You can negotiate deals with providers if you have a huge volume of customers. The customer already trusts Odoo, so they don't have to worry about your brand image. They just know that the service is being provided. They don't know who it's being provided from. And of course, you get paid for an ongoing service, so it's kind of a microtransaction. Every time you have the service, you get paid, and it's not like, for example, we have now the App Store, where you only get paid for the one time that you sell your app. So how does it work? I'm not really going to get into the details of the API, how it works. There was a talk on that on Wednesday morning by Anthony Le Suisse, so you can see how the code works and how the API works and how you can make it work with Odoo. But yeah, the idea behind it is that you have an API for services, which allows you to connect to Odoo to broker the transaction. So first of all, we have the players. The players, of course, we have first of all the service provider. The service provider is providing value to the customer through the service they're offering to them. Then, of course, we have external services, which is optional. So if you're not providing the service yourself, you can be a kind of middleman. For example, if you connect to an external service for sending an SMS, you don't have to be the one who's providing the service directly. We have the customer. So the customer installs your module to interface with Odoo. For example, the Get Paid Now button. It's not standard. It has to be installed as a module. And then they can access the service and purchase it from the service provider. And of course, Odoo brokers the transaction. So we act kind of as a middleman, getting the money from the customer and giving it to the service provider. Okay, so what is the flow like? Just very quickly. So when the customer clicks the Get Paid Now button, for example, it requests a service from the service provider. The service provider asks Odoo, hey, does this guy have enough credits? Odoo will say, of course, yes or no. If it's a yes, third step, they provide the service. And then, of course, they get the credit for the transaction. And then the client knows that the service has been rendered. So let's have a look at how it works. I'm going to go in the contacts here. I have asked my colleague John to receive an SMS from me. So here we have him. So the interface with the SMS service is very neat. It's standard in Odoo. If you open a database now, you can try it out. So I click here, send SMS. His number is already in the system. Hi, John. Thanks for my talk. So I'm going to send this out to him right now. And if everything goes well, he will receive an SMS just in a few seconds.
I did. It works.
Okay. And of course, the service provider is going to let me know that it works. So here we have in the chatter, of course, the message that says that service has been provided. It's the same for the snail mail message. You would have in the chatter a notification, the message has been sent. And if it's not sent, well, a new action is created here that lets you know, hey, you have to follow up on this customer. He didn't receive his service. In this case, it would be the SMS. Okay, what if you don't have enough funds? Well, of course, Odoo, when they have to let the service provider know if we have enough credits, they're going to say it's a no-go, don't do it. So let's see the example of not sending an SMS. So in this database, I do not have the sufficient fund to send an SMS. So yeah, this is the message that you receive. So the service provider lets you know, hey, you don't have enough credits, you have to buy some new credits. What happens, Odoo redirects you directly to purchase new credits. So I just click here, purchase new. In this case, it's very cheap, it's a test database. But you just click here, you get the credits, and it's super easy. And now I can start sending SMS again from the interface directly. So now if I click send, this person who I don't know is going to receive an SMS from Odoo saying hello there. Okay. So why have we chosen this approach? I think there's many advantages to how we do this. First of all, you've seen the barrier to buy is super low. So you don't have credits, you just a couple of clicks, we already have the payment information, and then you have credit on your account and you can start buying the services from the service provider. The customer doesn't necessarily need to know who the provider is, so the benefit for the vendor is, of course, you can find a cheaper vendor, you can change vendors if you have any issues. You can even have, for example, you saw when we sent them the snail mail post, it gives you estimation of the price. So then you can, for example, search between different kind of providers to have the lowest price for the customers. And of course, it allows you to have better deals with the providers. And the API is super easy to implement. If you watch Anthony's talk about the lines of code you need to write to connect to the API, it was 20 minutes talk for 50. It's that easy. So how can you provide your own in-app service? There's a few easy steps. Of course, it's a simplification, but first of all, you need to provide a service. So it can be a service that you're providing yourself. If you're, for example, an accounting firm, you can implement an end-of-year report, for example, where the customer sends all the information to you directly from Odoo. You prepare the end-of-the-year financials, and you can send it to them, for example, for a flat rate fee, 500 euros, and it's done. So any kind of service you can implement. Let's take one example, which we have seen maybe already. It's a lead generation. So of course, a pain of the salespeople is always they want more leads, and this is something we also have in standard in Odoo today. So it's this database. So all you need to go is in the configuration and activate the lead generation, and then you can set up new lead generation rules. For example, here we have the partnership team. We want to track companies who are coming on our website. And we can choose which countries we want to track. So, for example, Algeria, Anguilla, and Belgium. There we go. And we can choose which website on your front end you want to track. For example, in this case, we're just going to have the Become a Partner page. So the people who are going on this page, we're going to capture their IP address, and then an external service is going to give us more detail about who the customer is. And of course, you can choose more options. For example, some industries. Let's do IT. So information technology services, maybe some hosting companies. Well, we don't have the option here, but you can choose any kind of industry tags which you want to appear in your lead generation service, company size, and of course you can choose the sales channel that you want to receive these leads, and we can save this. So now if a visitor on your website is coming and corresponds to this criteria, it's going to create a new lead. So I cannot show you this in the demo database, but I can show you this in our production database because we're actually using this service in Odoo today. So here, if I go on the CRM in Odoo, I already set up a filter to show the reveal opportunities. Here I have one, so you can see what it looks like. So you can see here we have the tag reveal. That's the tag we have for this service. And you can see automatically the information of the client is fetched. So in this case, we have the name of the company, we have the technology used, and some contact numbers, so we can reach this customer and start selling to them directly. Here you can see, for example, referred by his website visitor, so you can see the source, and we already have the company details filled in. So it's super useful if you have a sales team and not enough leads. This can really save you a lot of time. So yeah, second step, you need to register your service on Odoo. So this is done directly from your account on odoo.com. So you have your home and your in-app services, and here I have a service to send croissants to your favorite customers. So you can create your services here, and we have different pricing packs. So the way the credit works in Odoo, the customer has to buy a pack. The benefits, of course, is with greater volume, you can have greater prices, or you can set up different kind of deals as you like. So we can just create a new package here, super package. We have unlimited croissants in this package, so it's gonna require a lot of credits. And we're gonna make it quite cheap because we're super nice. And I can choose here my icon for this. Odoo takes a 25% commission on the sales that you make on these packs, by the way. It's important to know. So you have to calculate your price with that in mind. So the third steps and the most difficult step, of course, is building your module to interface with Odoo. This module can be super simple. You've seen the SMS example. So you have the small box, you click on it, you write your text and it's gone. Or it can be a bit more complex, for example, lead generation, where you have different kind of rules to activate the service and so forth. But we can help you with that, by the way. If you're an official partner, we have this developers on demand service. So you write your specifications and we can contribute to the code on this project. All right. So the fourth step and the last step, of course, getting paid. We're here to make money as well with in-app purchases. You can have a new stream of revenue, and that's really, I think, the idea behind it. So yeah, we've seen what in-app purchases are. I think I've explained it. Let me know if you have any questions about that. I think we had some good ideas. I would really like to hear if you have any ideas of in-app purchases which you would like to implement. And of course, I'm open for questions.